What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 14 of Couples Coverage. I'm your host, Nicholas Moreano, joined by my beautiful girlfriend, as always, Stephanie Abonce. Baby, how you doing today?
Good. I'm excited for our spooky episode.
Spooky, yeah. It's Halloween time. We figure we'll make this episode timely.
Yeah.
And do it by sharing some scary stories.
I know. If this is fitting. When is this going to come out? Tomorrow? Okay, so not Halloween time.
It's like Halloween
yet.
weekend. Like people are gonna celebrate Halloween this weekend as opposed to, the next weekend.
After,
yeah, because October 31st falls on a, what days it actually fall on? Let's see. Checking the calendar here in the phone. It falls on a Tuesday.
Yeah, no one's...
I think people will still be like turning up for Halloween parties. Maybe actually, the 6th or the 3rd and 4th of November, but I feel like most people are going to do it this weekend.
Yeah. I wish our costumes sort of came in on time because I would have loved to just come on here in costumes.
That's right. We were talking about doing that. That would have been fun.
I know. Well, nothing too crazy this year because it's very last minute. We weren't sure if he was going to be in town just with his travel schedule and everything for the Halloween party that we're going to. So we didn't really have a lot of time to plan it out or really order anything because, as you know, if you look for costumes right now, like everything is going to be picked out or things aren't going to get delivered in time. So we just kind of went with something simple but still fun.
Yeah. So if you watch the show The Bear, we're going to be some chefs, I guess, from the show, right?
Yeah.
I got Carmi's tattoos. They're supposed to get in here the day of the Halloween party, so hopefully it's not at the end of day, but at the start of the day when they get delivered, and I can just tap myself up. And
otherwise, I'm gonna have to just draw on you or something.
Yeah, no, that'll work too.
It wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, because you were just drawing a little bear on your little iPad here, and it looked really good. I'm like, that's a really good looking bear, and you did it in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was quick.
So, so whatever happens, it'll end up being good. Last year, what were we? Oh, Ted Lasso, and then you were one of my soccer players.
Yeah. Which I always forget what the soccer team is called.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible because I love Ted Lasso and it's gonna make you look like a fake fan.
And we've already forgotten once and we couldn't remember.
Richmond. Now I gotta look it
up.
It is Richmond.
We're gonna move on.
No, it's Richmond. I'm gonna look it up. Ted Lasso soccer team name. It's Richmond.
Something Richmond.
Yes, and AFC Richmond.
AFC
That's right.
Richmond.
So I just gotta remember American Football Conference, the AFC in football, and then Richmond. Boom. There we go.
Yeah.
let's move on and actually talk about what we have lined up for today's show.
So, guys, if you don't like scary stuff, sorry, this is going to be kind of creepy.
It's not going to be that creepy.
But I'm trying to set the tone for the people who do like something scary.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Maybe they just enjoy us regardless of if it's actually scary or not. So you're going to listen regardless. And actually, that's a good segue into, just having people subscribe to the podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We're on all, the social media, but,
the
we're
whole
still...
thing.
The whole
Also,
thing. Yes.
We see who looks at our profile. You guys, you got to subscribe. You got to follow us.
Yeah, if I see you, looking at the profile, and you can see that on the TikTok, and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, there's a problem there. So maybe we'll have to call people out. No, I'm just kidding. But please subscribe and tell a friend. It'll definitely help us to grow this channel. But actually, before we get into our scary stories, we just want to say the scary thing that happened in this apartment last night.
Well, okay, so. Do you want me to tell her or you want?
You can start, yeah.
Okay, so yesterday we were in bed. I think we were just winding down, getting ready for bed, and you had a load of laundry drying. Mm-hmm. And we started to hear some like squeaking. I heard it once and kind of ignored it. Heard it again and was kind of like, where's that coming from? And then as we were talking about it, it was like really loud and it freaked me out.
It made like a weird squeaking noise and like, okay, I know that's a dryer, and I'm like...
It made me think there was an animal, but I'm like, how would an animal even be in our apartment?
Other than Brady.
There's no way.
But it did make a strange little noise, so I knew you're a little on edge, so so what I did, I kind of hid...
Wait, you're missing the part of it.
What am I missing?
So...
Okay, never mind.
Right before I like went... So I got scared, that's the point. I'm very jumpy. I think if there's someone who's purposely trying to scare me, I will get scared. So, very jumpy. But anyways, I like got up because I got thirsty. So I went to go fill up like a cup of water.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
And as I left, you try to pull some funny stuff.
I did pull some funny stuff. All I did was like went into our closet that's attached to our bedroom. And then you had your cup of water. You didn't see me in the bed anymore. And you're like, stop it. And then you used Brady to find me. You're like, Brady, where's your papa? And then, of course, he eventually listened and goes in the closet. But I wasn't gonna let you like just get to bed unscathed there. I went down on all fours, and I guess that threw you off, and you got scared. You dip your hand in the water and just.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't throw the whole thing on you.
But I knew it. You get scared so easily. So easily. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you're someone who definitely gets scared.
No, yes. If you're purposely trying to scare me, I will get scared. This just reminded me, and I have it written down, but I'm just going to say it right now. I don't really like scary movies. I like them, but only if they're not, like, gory.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. I mean, they're fine. I will get really scared. I will probably not look for some parts. And I will get nervous being home by myself, maybe for a few days after that. And I think I feel like this was last year around this time, the movie Smile came out.
Oh my God.
The movie hilarious. Smile came out. I don't know if you guys remember this movie, but this was actually one of the scariest movies that I've ever seen. But I haven't seen too many, but I just know it was really scary to me. And we saw it in theaters. And I remember even on my way to work, I always passed this giant Smile billboard with like just the creepiest smile. So this movie really freaked me out. But when we got back from watching this movie, we get into our apartment, and usually he leaves the door open to let some light in while I go and like flick a light on. Otherwise, it's really dark in our apartment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Brady's toys are around. So we just like to turn the light on before we fully shut the front door. And I go going to turn the light on. I hear the door shut behind me, and suddenly I'm just in the dark. And I knew you were about to scare me. And I flick the light on, and I turn around, and he's just standing there in the corner, smiling at me. And I screamed so loud.
That was pretty good, and that was actually that was mean of me. Because, I mean, we had just seen the movie, and I was, like, smiling it's like an evil-looking smile. Yeah. It's like an overdone smile.
We literally had just came back from watching this movie, and I told him, I'm really scared. Please don't scare me. This would be really mean if you ever scared me after this. The first thing he does when we get back is scare me.
Yeah. It was.
Did I cry?
I think you were a little shaken up, and then that's where I kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh man. But it was like such a good opportunity. Like, I just couldn't. My dad, I get it from my dad, because my dad will scare my mom sometimes. And really? I'm like, that's where I kind of get this from. That's why I want to do it, or that's why I can't help myself sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
I got you good, and
that's probably the scariest, meanest thing you've ever done to me.
Well, I'm sorry. No more smile type of encounter. I mean, last night wasn't as bad. But.
That's actually like I said, I don't like gory stuff, but anything that's like just creepy, but very like slightly creepy like that just really gets me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Because do you remember when they had people standing behind like home plate?
Well, yeah, they had people at like sporting events to advertise for this movie, and they put these actors in a spot where the camera's going to be on you, like at a baseball game behind home plate. You just see these random people smiling, and it's like, that's really weird. And then you figure out what it's for. It's really good advertising on their part, but it's creepy too.
It's super creepy.
But yes, that's okay. It's a good segue into some of our stories that we do want to share. Again, Halloween week, and we just want to share some things. I'm gonna go first because I don't think mine are as scary as actually yours are.
You don't even know what I have in here.
I think I know one of them, maybe. Well, I'm still going to go first here.
Okay.
So, scary.
Remember, you got to paint the picture for our spooky
scary-ish
listeners.
Story. I'm gonna take you back to, this would be was it my junior? I can't remember if this is probably my senior year, going into my senior year at the University of Iowa. A couple of buddies and I wanted to look to get maybe an apartment or a house to hang out for our final year at Iowa. My final year, the seniors that were a part of this group that we had. And we saw a listing on, when you go look at places, and it was a really good price. Really good price. And I remember reading how many rooms. Check. Got it. Was it close enough to campus? Yep. Don't need to get a car or anything. So I checked another box. And then like a little disclaimer. It's like, disclaimer? What is it? This house is haunted.
It said that?
It said like, this house is haunted. People who are previous owners who have lived here have heard noises or have documented some type of like activity.
Oh, and I didn't know that.
We're like, what? Like, come on. And I think I was at the time where I'm like, okay, it's haunted, whatever. So we do end up going to check this house. And that's like the first,
it's always the person's like, okay, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like.
That was me, like, to be completely honest. And even the guys were like, yeah, we'll see if it's haunted. So we go to check it out, and actually the owners that were there were still there. They were still living there, so it would have been available like in a couple months or something like that, or maybe even the next semester. So we go there. It's an old-looking house, tall, wooden, off of a main street, and you go in, and it just looks like one of those old-time houses. Like the wood kind of was a little creaky, narrow hallways, narrow stairway going up. And I remember I was kind of just, when I got to the front door, I was just looking around. I'm like, well, the owner said, you guys can just go explore wherever. And then he's like, just let you know, it is haunted. Like, they're like, we've experienced stuff here. Like,
is that why they were trying to move?
I don't think that's why they were trying to move. I think they were actually going to graduate. So it's like time.
Oh, they were younger.
I mean, they would be older because they were going to graduate when we were going into our senior year.
But still young people.
Yeah, it wasn't like an old homeowner.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went upstairs, and like it's just me. Like everyone else goes through different parts of the house, and knowing that they said it's haunted, obviously reading the disclaimer, I'm like going up creaky kind of stairs, not like creepy in a way, but just creaky because they're old, and then I just remember hearing like a little, a doorknob. Like, it's an old house. Like, I didn't think much of it, and it just, I don't know, it didn't really bother me. But then we all go to the basement, and as we're going down, like, there's like one of the bedrooms down there. It's supposed to be for me. Oh. It's an unfinished basement. Like, you see some spider web. Like, it's kind of like a college frat house a little bit. Like, the guys that were living there. But there's also, behind like one of the curtains, a crematory, where you would burn, bodies and things like that. And it's like, that's just there, but, we just put a curtain over it.
So that's how they had it?
Yeah, it was just like a curtain.
Oh,
like,
my
you would just
God.
peel it back, and it's like, oh, hello, let's put you back.
So what did you see? Like, was there still things there?
Yeah, so you had to go through like a smallish, it was like an entryway, but it was kind of small, but it kind of, if I'm remembering it right, it looked like, if you were to put like fire and stuff, it could, you can burn something. But I remember like that was like I said, oh yeah, I'll sleep in the basement, not knowing that was down there. And I was kind of like, ooh, wait, if this is haunted, like I'm the first one to go. Like there is no debate. Like if something bad were to happen, people are not even gonna know I'm gone before whatever creepy demonic thing goes up and takes everybody else. I would be done for.
Yeah.
And if I were sleeping in the basement and hear something,
oh my God, I literally get like goosebumps just right now thinking about it, because just imagine sleeping down there or seeing something or just feeling the energy of whatever happened down there.
Yeah. So that's basically, we went in there, we saw it. We didn't end up getting the place. We ended up getting like a 5-bedroom apartment. And I don't exactly know why it didn't work out. I don't know if we were like super freaked out or if we wanted to go with something that was a little bit more finished in the end. But yeah, it was a haunted house, and the owners that were there like were saying that it was haunted. It was written in the disclaimer, and it had a crematory in the basement. So,
well, I mean, I wouldn't even doubt it at that point. I just think it's so creepy, and I wonder I would have asked the owners, like, what kind of things have you guys been?
I think someone said, yeah, I felt like my sheets being tugged. Oh. It's like, oh, hell no. I can't even remember. I can't even put myself into that mindset if I actually believed what they were thinking or if I was like, no, come on. It can't be haunted.
Yeah.
But it was a good price and it was close to campus. So I wonder for whoever did end up going into that house, even if it was just for a year, what their experience was like.
Yeah. I bet that's like the longest year of your life, but also like it's in the disclaimer. So you kind of know what you're purchasing. If you take that route, it's kind of like you were warned.
For sure. I wonder if like for people who do buy homes and, unfortunately there are bad people in the world and bad things that happen. And I wonder if that's something that people have to tell you.
I don't know. I always thought they did, or like maybe they don't. I don't know, but like if they don't have it written down but you ask, they have to tell you, type of thing.
That kind of seems messed up that you even have to ask, like, oh yeah, someone was murdered in this living room, like that. I feel like I think I'd want to know that.
I definitely would want to know.
I wouldn't want to go into buying a house without knowing. Look, I don't need to know everything, but like if something big like that happened in there, like I think I would want to know.
Do you think it would stop you from buying something? Let's say we found a really nice home, right? We loved it, and there was some sort of like crime or something that happened inside the home. Do you think it would deter you from buying it?
I think it would be a very long discussion about whether or not it would be right. Because, I mean, if you're someone who believes in, like, evil spirits and things that stay...
Well, just because someone got murdered or something, doesn't mean they're going to be, like, a demonic spirit trying to haunt everyone. But I wouldn't want that energy in the home. So I think I would try to, like, get the house, like, blessed or, like, sage it and just, like, purify the energy. Like, I don't know. I guess it depends what exactly happened. And if it was something big, then I definitely would. But I don't know. Obviously,
it's tough. Yeah,
I don't know.
But we like I said, we did not end up staying in that house. But that's the first scary story that I wanted to share with you guys. Has anybody actually ever been in a situation like that? Have you ever been to a haunted house, like an actual haunted house, not one you can pay for to go get scared, but like an actual haunted house, or considering living in a haunted house? Please, like, let us share. Share your experience. Like, again, I just went to go look at one.
Yeah. Did you feel any sort of difference? No,
not really. I mean, it was if I remember correctly, it was like a fall day. It was daylight out, so it wasn't at night or anything. I think we did it because it fit in all of our schedules.
I still have goosebumps. There's no way I'd want to sleep in the basement ever of anything.
And it wasn't a finished basement. It wasn't a finished basement, or it didn't look like a nice, but it was a basement that had a room. And
why is it that basements are always a little bit creepy?
I don't know.
Like basements, regardless, even if they're finished, they feel heavier than the rest of the home.
It's just downstairs.
It's just downstairs. It's probably because you are, like, if you're in the basement, you're technically, like, underground, right?
Yeah.
So it just feels heavier down there. I don't know. That's so creepy to me. I'm glad you didn't get that house.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. But props to you for looking at it, though, because I wouldn't have even considered it if I saw that.
Hey, we were college kids wanting a nice... We were thinking we could throw parties here. It's got a nice little front balcony that we can hang out in. It's gonna be great, and it's haunted. So, no.
Dang.
All right. Okay. What's your story? What you got?
So it's going just with the theme of like haunted houses. So I've never experienced anything here in this home, the one that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to tell a story about my grandparents' house in Mexico.
Okay.
So I know I've tried to describe this house to you before, but my grandparents live in a house that's like, it's really hard to explain, but it's a house and they have like a ton of plants.
Inside, outside, like
And then it's like a big garden. They have stuff to like do their laundry. They have little pathways to go to like a back house, like another little house kind of thing that has like a room. And I forget like what else is attached to that part. And then there's another part that's the bathroom.
Okay.
So to get from the home to the bathroom, you have to walk through this like long garden. And my mom always tells me stories of when she was younger. She was always so terrified to go like brush her teeth at night because you have to walk through in the dark and you're, you know, like you don't really know what's like in the garden, and it's kind of creepy. So all of this is within like a fenced in like piece of land.
Okay.
So picture all of this inside a land. Okay. So my grandpa has told a few stories to my mom where he like sees something or he hears something. And one that really sticks out to me is he told my mom a story that he was like napping on a hammock on one side of this like land. And he doesn't remember ever like waking up or feeling anything, but he woke up on a complete other side. And when he woke up, he claims that he saw someone standing there and they were telling him to dig. Like they were just pointing at a piece of like land that was there, and they were just telling him to like dig, and then they left. And he like claims it was a spirit because it's believed in Mexico that if you ever see someone telling you to like dig somewhere, it's because there's money from like way back then, or like
good spirit.
I don't know. But he's never done it. He's never wanted to dig. And there has been stories of people that they know in their little town that have had similar experiences, and they end up finding a lot of money. And I don't even know what kind of money this is, if it's like maybe like gold or something that's been like dug up there from like way back then. I don't know what kind of like currency it is or anything, but he's never done it. He's never wanted to do it. And my parents and like some of my mom's like siblings have tried to convince him like, you should just do it, you know, like you never know. But he doesn't want to like disturb whatever he saw, or what, he just doesn't want to do it.
I volunteer as tribute. I will go dig.
Well,
I will do it.
I've had uncles who have also volunteered and they don't find anything, but it's like believed that it has to be the person who saw the spirit.
Oh.
So I think they have tried before. Something similar. My uncle was like, I'll do it. I'll go find this money.
Yep, I got it.
And they didn't find anything. But again, I think my grandpa, or they think it's like my grandpa who has to do it.
That's crazy though, to one, you know, go to sleep in a hammock on one side, wake up on the other side, and then dig. Like some dude just, what is going on here?
Well, it's so hard for me to like believe it or picture it or whatever. But if you guys know, if you're Hispanic, you know that for some reason it's so strange. But I do think over there, like people believe in that stuff so much more. And I kind of believe that like if you really do believe something or you allow something, it's gonna like you're more I don't know, like you might see it more than other people would who are completely closed off from it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, like the Day of the Dead, like do you think that's because spirits are so like, you know, involved in like that holiday? Like
maybe it could be.
It's like people just believe in aspects of the afterlife, right?
Yeah.
Or like maybe something like that. But that is very interesting. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how I would have felt like initially.
Yeah.
Like if I had that same experience your grandpa did, like one, I make sure that everybody knew about it. I don't want to be the only person that knows about this. I don't want to go through this alone. So everyone's going to know about it. We're all going to get freaked out together. We're going to go through this together. And then we're going to debate, are we digging or what?
Are we digging? Was it a dream? Did I like sleepwalk over there? Or I don't know. I think I would probably like really like question my own sanity. But when I've been there, I will say it is really creepy. When I think of my grandma's house, I just picture it like, I love it. I've been telling you I want to visit so bad. And I feel like just like a warmth thinking about my grandma's house. But at night it like completely changes because I hate having to go to the bathroom when I'm at my grandma's house, because you do have to pass this like long like property and you don't know it's in the bushes or in the garden, and it's so creepy. And people sometimes like it's very common for people to like break into homes, so it's always like, oh, like, am I being watched right now? It's so creepy.
Yeah, no, it does not sound like fun. You know, like when you're the last one in the basement, you're about to turn off the lights, and
that feeling
like,
you get.
All right, I'm like looking back, here's the light switch, and you hit it and then you book it. That's how I feel like you would be like in that hallway going to the outhouse where it's like, gotta get to it quickly.
And to think my mom had to do that like as a young kid all the time.
Oh God, that's a nice adrenaline rush every single time you got to go take a pee.
Yeah, I know.
Well, okay. So I had not heard that story before, and I thought maybe there's another story that I haven't heard of.
I think there is one more on here.
Okay,
that we haven't heard
so
of.
I'm looking forward to that. But before we get into more scary stories that we have to share, gotta tell everybody about Owen. And if you notice, like if you're watching on this episode 14 of Couples Coverage, I've been drinking this double shot 20-gram mocha latte Owen shake. Amazing. I was pretty tired coming back from work today. This thing not only gives you the 20 grams of protein, but the caffeine is kicking in, and I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, and you can feel good too if you just, go to Owen, check out all their great products. They're, again, 100% vegan. They're excellent source of omega-3s, contains 3 grams of probiotics, great source of fiber. And if you're looking for pre-made shakes like this one, you can find those on Owen's website. You can find Owen powders. You can find, again, traditional protein shakes if you don't want to get all the caffeine. So they literally got it all. We've been having the pumpkin spice one too.
I had the last one today.
No, there's more. There's
more
there
that is.
We haven't put in the fridge. So thank goodness, because those are really good too. So all you got to do, if you want to get a discount on some of these great products, you stock up on everything that you want. Then you just, at checkout, use the code CC15. You save 15% off your first order. So like I always tell you here, stock up on everything that you want. Use that code, save some money, and then a little bit of that will come back to us here at Couples Coverage. But definitely check out Owen if you're looking for something new or something that, only gives you ingredients that you actually need in your body. So check out Owen, all the great things they have to offer. Want to shout out to you, Owen, because it's been great having these after my workouts or when I need a little kick at the end of the day.
Thanks, Owen.
All right, we are back here and we are sharing scary stories.
Scary stories.
I'm gonna go with this is my last scary story that I have to share.
Okay.
And this also takes us back to my time at the University of Iowa. This time, I want to say it was my sophomore year at Iowa. Just kind of getting into journalism, and for what we had to do throughout the year in TV broadcasts was make these things called packages. So there's stories about 3 to 5 minutes long. You have to interview a certain amount of people, get B-roll, which is like footage outside of the interview, and piece everything together to make a package. So one of the stories I did was on one of the students that lived on my hallway and in the same dorm that I was in. He was like saying like, "Hey guys, you guys should watch the Sci-Fi Channel this week because my story's gonna be on there."
Oh.
I'm like, "What? Your story's gonna be on the Sci-Fi Channel? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I used to live in a haunted house." I'm like, "Really?" His name was Matt, and I'm like, "Okay."
You're gonna have to send this to him.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember I'm like, okay, I want to do my package on you rewatching your story on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh.
So like a group of us, we all like were watching it, and it's kind of funny seeing the person that they had reenact him because he's a big dude. He was a big dude, and like the guy that was reenacting him was pretty like a smaller guy, but basically his house was built on a Native American Indian reservation, and they had moved in, and then they just started hearing things. Then stuff started to like move. Time was different. Shadowy figures. At the end of there's this one scene where Like I'm like getting goosebumps.
You
like,
literally have goosebumps right now.
I literally have goosebumps. Where I'm like, oh, because what I was doing while he was watching this, I was watching him, and you could see it in his face. Like it brought him back to a time that was not good.
Yeah.
But he goes to the basement to go get something. Again, these freaking basements, man.
It's always a basement.
He goes to the basements, and the lights start to flicker. They start to flicker a little bit. Ooh. And as he grabs whatever he's trying to grab in the basement, he turns, and there's just this full figure just kind of staring at him. It's kind of doing like this, like,
oh my God, now motion. I have goosebumps.
And he's looking at it in the reenactment, and he just charges, like, because he needs to get up, and like it vanishes, but he charges up, and I think that's where his dad, like, he's like, what happened? And one of the final scenes is like he's in bed, and the whole bed just starts to vibrate and shake, and it goes crazy. The sheets come off and everything. And as I was interviewing him after watching this, like, can you put me through like your emotions when you're seeing that scene? And it took him some time. Like, he was reflecting back on it and being in the actual moment. I could just see it in his face. Like, you could just tell the emotions, the raw emotions he was feeling, they were all coming up again as he's trying to retell this story to me. And it was just crazy that he had gone through this. He was seeing these things, and they ended up moving. Like, the family just could not stay there anymore because of all the paranormal kind of activity that was happening on a daily basis, and it kept getting worse and worse.
Oh my gosh.
With like those figures and whatever, these spirits were getting more aggressive. And I remember I was just like, when I saw him acting the way he was in just the interviews that we did in my dorm room, and how much it hurt him,
or how he was still like affected by it. Just
then that's where I started to think like, man, like there could be definitely things out there. And I remember asking him like, could I go there? Like, being this I was like really curious kind of journalist, wanting to go, maybe I should, what if I stayed a night there? I remember thinking that, and thank God I didn't. What an idiot.
What did he say when you asked him?
I'm like, well, the house I think is still there. I don't know if new owners are there, or if they like tore it all down and built something. I don't remember exactly. Maybe they did end up like tearing everything down. But I wanted to go to, I think it was in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and I think it was maybe a 2-hour drive, if I'm not mistaken. But I was like really considering going there and seeing these spirits, because I was, wanting to get on, do extra for this project. But it ended up working out, and yeah, that was it was just really crazy to see his motions.
Yeah. I think that's what honestly would sell me a little bit more, or would make it more believable for me, because you always hear this type of story, you know, like similar experiences, even growing up watching like a haunting or something. And it's something that like you're just used to hearing when it comes to these like haunted stories or scary stories. But actually talking to somebody who's gone through it and being able to see their emotions, I think that would really take it from just being like a story to like, wow, this is like real.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's where it got real for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a pretty scary reenactment, not gonna lie. Like, seeing it and then like putting yourself in that situation. I mean, I would not want that, because then they were showing like, I think one of the mom or dad was in like the kitchen, and they saw someone looking at them outside of the window. It was like super dark too, the scene that they were trying to reenact, and it was like, hell no. Like, that is not for me.
No. This always like, I always think about how I have no idea how some actors can even be a part of these scary movies. I wouldn't even want to act any of this out. I wouldn't want to be anywhere where, you know what though, maybe the cameras and stuff,
there's a set,
take like, you out of it, and it's not real.
You know people are there.
But I do remember there's a movie, I think it's the Hereditary one. I've never watched it. I've had no desire to watch it. It looks too scary to me. But I do know those actors talked about like having to go do therapy afterwards.
Oh God.
Oh, it's so scary. I hate terrible. It. I know. But I don't have this written down, but this kind of reminded me how just going back to like Mexico, when my dad first built the home that we have there, they built it on a baseball field, an old baseball field.
Oh, that's cool.
And my mom said when they first moved in, when they were, like they had just built it, they were staying there for like the first time at night. She said she would wake up because she would hear the sound of baseballs getting hit. And my mom is not like, my mom doesn't get scared about stuff. Like, yes, she gets creeped out, but she's not one to be like, oh, it's a ghost, She's, I don't know. So hearing her say that and her saying that they did get like the priest to come like bless the house after that. And she said it actually like she didn't hear it after that anymore.
It's like the movie Field of Dreams. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But
I think you showed it to me.
It's, where it's like there's a house and there's a baseball field and the ghosts from like the old players come on and play a game.
Yeah.
And if you build
it's not the worst thing you could hear, right? Yeah. It's not as scary, but it is kind of like...
Yeah. No, that's interesting though. Yeah. For sure.
I know.
Crazy.
Oh, now I'm going to get creeped out.
and you easily get creeped out, so...
I know, I do.
Do you have another story though, babe, that you want to share?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so... I think I almost mentioned this one on our crazy job experiences or crazy stories from old jobs, something like that.
Okay, continue, because if you don't share this one story that you told me, then you're doing a disservice to our listeners. But I want to see what this story is.
I'm going to save that one for last because that's my experience.
Oh, okay.
But, right? Is that the one you're thinking about? Okay, and this one's just like creepy.
Good. Good.
So, as mentioned before in a different podcast, I used to work at a water park. Is it resort? Indoor water park resort. And this was a really big hotel, and I worked there a lot in the summer. This is my first job after high school, and I feel like I just was there the whole summer. And there was a story that would go around. We were like friends with the security guards, and I think older employees who had worked there for a while knew about this story. So when I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke, or I thought it was security just trying to scare us, because they told me and my friend this story. But they were like, yeah, you guys don't know about like the third floor or whatever. And like, what? Like, I thought they were just kidding. But he's like, no, this is an actual story. So basically... the story, well, it's not a story. This actually happened. Mm-hmm. It was a mom from, I can't remember where, but apparently this was a long time ago. But she took her son out of school, took him to Wisconsin Dells, and then Key Lime Cove, where I worked. And then they found her. She had... committed I don't want to say it. Trigger alert. I don't want to say it because I know these words get like flagged on YouTube. In a hotel in Rockford, and they never found the boy that she took out of school, her son. So to this day, they've never found him. But again, because it was part of the investigation, or they're trying to figure out like where he was last seen, there was footage of this boy and the mom walking through the hallway in Key Lime Cove, and they passed the little area where I used to work at. So seeing that clip, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And the third floor is just kind of like where they stayed. So people always said like, oh, it's a haunted floor because people see things or people hear things and they think it's his like spirit or something, because people think that she did something or hurt him or whatever it was, because again, he just hasn't been found till this day. So I just remember always being so scared to go to the third floor to deliver anything. People used to order like cookie packages, used to make cookies and go take it to this room. And I would not go by myself.
I wouldn't either. Hell no.
Yeah.
Knowing that what you know and seeing things like.
People hearing things.
You're taking somebody if they don't want to go.
I used to always take my friend with me. Like, you're going to go do this with me because there's no way I'm going to this floor by myself. And again, like I said, this boy has never been found. And I always think about it because, like it's like a sucky feeling to just not know or have any closure to something. Yeah. So I do still always like think about what happened to him, or I wonder where he is. And not that long ago, I was at the store and I saw a magazine with his name on it.
Really?
And I was like, no way. I thought he was found. And it turns out it was just someone who was claiming to be him, the missing boy. Because he was 6 years old when he went missing. And at this point, he's like older in his 20s or something. But it was a man claiming to be him. And it wasn't. But I was like thinking I was finally going to get like
some closure from
this story, and like hoping that he was alive or found alive. But it was always just very creepy. And I do remember we were all talking about this one morning. We were all like talking about some creepy experience that someone had on the 3rd floor. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember it was some creepy thing that happened to somebody. So we were all talking about it in the little shop that I worked at. And then out of nowhere, like a little bubble like came out of nowhere, like from the bottom where we were talking, and it popped like right in front of us.
What the hell? And
we were like so shocked. We had no words because we're like, where did this random like bubble come from? And we were thinking maybe from the kitchen dishes, but there's a door. So we just thought it was so strange that here we are talking about this like little boy and this like experience that someone had, and all of a sudden like a little bubble just like comes out of nowhere.
That's pretty freaky.
Is it creepy?
That's pretty freaky.
Because I always thought like, did I think too much of that? But I remember that always freaked me out.
Yeah, like I get it. Bubbles are innocent and
but that's why.
Not that bubble. I didn't like that bubble at all. Not good.
But again, with this hotel, it was just always very creepy because you had to go in through the Brady looks possessed right now. I'm scared.
He's just having a dream. This man is always twitching in his dreams, like moving his paws and
he
stuff.
Looks possessed.
But yeah, he's like moving his...
And his eyes are like half open. I'm scared.
Oh, poor Brady. Having a good puppy.
I hope so.
Okay, let's continue now.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, yes, we had to go in through this basement. Again, freaking basements. But this basement was this long hallway. They used it to store things. The break room was also down there. But in the mornings, I had a very, very early shift. So I had to be there before people were up, before a lot of employees were even there. So it kind of just felt like a quiet, old, like resort. So going through the bottom, sometimes I would literally run through it because it was like dark down there. I don't know why. There was no like bright lights down there. It was just like very
that
faint
was like
lights.
Your version of what your mom had to go to the bathroom. That was your version.
Yes, exactly. That was literally my version. But this one was longer because you had to like go through the entire bottom to get to the top.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just remember like in the mornings when I was there early, I would always clock in and like run through the whole thing. And one day security came up to my little shop. They're like, we can see you like running through the downstairs every morning.
Just getting my exercise, that's all.
I'm like, you did? I'm sorry. Well, I'm like, okay, can you even blame me? Like, it's so creepy down there and it's early. Like, It's so early. It's dark. No one's up yet. But yeah, I just was always very on edge in this hotel. So I'm not surprised if people have experienced anything. At this point, it's still there, but it's bought out by someone else. So I don't know, maybe the vibes have changed in there. But you know what? Also, do you know the story of Eliza Lamb?
Mm-mm.
Okay. This video creeped me out because it's a woman who, there's like footage of her. There's a woman who was in an elevator. She starts doing like all these like crazy like signs.
And then she disappear?
She looks like she's like hiding from somebody, and then they don't see her anymore. And then they find out that she was like in the water tank up on the roof. They found her like she had passed away. But they are always wondering like, oh my gosh, so scary.
Okay, but I do know of her now that you're like kind of saying it, but in the water tank.
They found her in the water. People were claiming that their water like tasted strange or something, so they looked in the water tank and they found her up there. Oh, so scary. Okay, so going through the elevators, always so scary to me too, because most times it was like in a dark section where it was for employees. There just wasn't a lot going on over there. There's also another hallway where it's like people could rent out, or not rent out, but like book these rooms for their events. And when there wasn't any events, this hallway of different like banquet rooms were just empty. And this hallway was always just like dark. Nothing was going on up there. But we could take it to get through like to the outside faster.
Yeah.
So I would sometimes very like scared, but I would take it. And I remember there was one time after I had heard this story being very on edge and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it. It's going to be fine. And I turned around and there was a little girl behind me and it freaked me out so bad, but it was just a girl who was looking for restrooms.
Not
I'm like,
today, little girl.
I'm like, what are you doing up here looking for restrooms? Like she was like completely going the opposite way. I think she wandered off. But I'm like, they're not this way. I can show you where they are. But I just was like,
was it a little girl when she like dressed in like traditional like clothing too, looking like
it was just a regular
little girl.
It was a regular little girl, but it freaked me out because I'm like, no way, there's no way I'm seeing this right now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's scary. Like that would legit like freak me out. She asked, like, where's boom, I would have dipped it. I would have ran the other way. So she would be left and she would have disappeared. I don't know. I wouldn't have helped her that day. She would have been still searching for that bathroom or her ghost.
I was like, as I was like helping her, like showing her where the bathrooms were, the whole time I was like, like really looking at her like, you're real, right? You're not a ghost, right? Okay. Yeah.
That's something, baby.
I know. Creepy.
You have one more though that you want to share, right?
Yeah, I do have one more.
I'm out of creepy ghost stories, unfortunately, but yeah, I want to see where this one is. I'm pretty sure.
I feel like I'm talking too much. Is this okay?
That's perfectly fine because I don't have any more stories to tell. So you have to share what this last one is.
Okay, so this last one happened to me. I wouldn't consider it a ghost story or anything, just more so creepy.
It's a ghost story.
No, it's not. Okay, so when I was younger, I couldn't even tell you how old I was, maybe like 5 or 6 years old. I had a birthday and my godparents came to visit maybe like a couple of weeks after that, and they brought a doll, like this little doll.
Basements and dolls.
They brought this little doll that I thought was like so cool because you could like bathe it. It was like not waterproof. Well, I guess waterproof. It was like you can. The point of this doll was like, oh, like bath time with the baby doll. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, so when they came to visit, I was sick. I had a cold or something, and my mom was telling. So I asked my mom if I could like use it or open it or whatever, and she said, no, like let's save it for another time because you're sick, and like if you're gonna be playing with water. Yeah. I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing, like you're just gonna get more sick, whatever. So she said no. So then the next morning, my mom told me that when my dad was getting up to go to work, he wakes up really early at like 4 a.m. or like 4:30ish or something. He like apparently heard me. So he went and he like heard that like it was coming from downstairs. So he went to the bathroom all the way downstairs and found me like water everywhere, like bathing the stall.
I remember when you said that the first time, like, that is creepy. That is really creepy.
Hold on. So apparently he had to take me back to bed twice that night because both times, like, I don't know if, I don't know.
Sleepwalking or
so I was sleepwalking. But I don't remember any of this. He just said there was like water all over the floor. He had to get me back to bed. And when they told me this, I literally cried because one, that is so creepy, but two, I'm like, I have no memory of this. I didn't wake up at all. Like I was fully asleep when this was happening. And so the thought of like waking up, getting out of bed, going downstairs in the dark, going to like this bathroom in the dark, getting all the stuff that I needed is so creepy to me.
Yeah, that is really creepy. That's like movie, like scary stuff. And I remember you told me that. I'm like, what? Like this, I'm glad that it happened way back when, and obviously nothing now because like, are things following you? Like,
yeah.
I was like, I remember when you first told me that, I was legit like freaked out.
That is so funny.
That is yeah, that one. That's crazy.
I know.
I wonder how your parents felt. Like, my daughter, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., going down in the basement by herself, watching a doll, and yeah, she's just there.
Yeah.
Did it twice, went back, doesn't even remember it. I'd be a little scared too. If they were.
Yeah.
Were they?
I don't know.
Have you ever talked to them about that?
If they were scared? I don't think they were scared, but you know what? Like, I just remember I never wanted them to tell the story. If they would tell people, I would immediately, I don't want to hear it because it would scare me all over again that I did that.
Yeah.
And also when I was younger, I thought sleepwalking was like your eyes are closed and you're like walking. So I was like, how did I get down there? But now I know that like your eyes are open, you're navigating around, but you just don't have like memory of it, you know? And also it freaked me out to think that I was going to do it again. So I remember like trying to like really wrap myself in my blankets, or I don't know if I remember like yeah, because I had heard stories, or when this happened my mom was like, yeah, like it's okay, like it's happened before, like we, not to me, but like she's either her siblings or something, she had seen like people who sleepwalk, so I don't know, it just like really freaked me out though. But
it's because it's a crazy story, but we got to share it with all of our listeners and our viewers, and you definitely had the scarier stories for sure. Mine both had to deal with houses.
No, it's still so creepy though.
It fits the theme, right?
And also, time, Halloween time. I love hearing scary stories. So if you guys have anything creepy to share,
well, yeah, what's your scary stories that you got? Everyone's got something that they've experienced, whether it's small or big, or something that you were like actually a part of, or even a relative. Like everyone's got some. So if you want to share your stories, feel free to leave that in the comments, and definitely check them out. But that's our show.
Yeah,
our scary episode 14 of Couples Coverage. So we just want to say thank you for listening. For hopefully we took you back to like a little bit of where we were at when we were experiencing those stories and painted the picture, and you felt it a little bit. Maybe you're a little scared, maybe not. That's perfectly fine. But we appreciate you for being here, and you can definitely share this with other people. And you can do that by you should subscribe to our YouTube channel or Spotify or iTunes, and then tell your friends to do the exact same, and give us those likes. It helps with the algorithms and comments. YouTube. And also we want to get those 100 subscribers, and then we'll give out a free something. So let's get those numbers up as well. But again, thank you for everybody who's tuned in, who hopefully everyone has a great holiday weekend.
Be safe. Have fun.
Have fun at those Halloween parties if you're still going to them and hanging out with friends. You have trick-or-treaters. Ask them what so funny, I went around and asked a bunch of Bears players what their favorite candies and worst favorite candies again in Halloween were. Got some really interesting answers, but candy corn is the one that everyone hates. So
okay, how about that? Let us know what your favorite candy is too in the comment section.
Yeah, best and worst candy to get on Halloween.
What's yours?
Oh, I mean, I love Reese's. Like, if someone's giving out Reese's or Kit Kats or even Butterfingers, but Reese's.
Butterfingers?
Love them. Chocolate is my go-to. Worst? I don't even, like, one of the Bears players said Twizzlers. Like, I'm not a big fan of Twizzlers.
Twizzlers are, you know what? They don't taste bad, but I would just never choose them.
I would never go like, I need these Twizzlers. I need them. No. What about you?
I think, thinking about when I was a kid, anything that was wrapped in the foil, that was my stuff.
Like the chocolate
coins or the little eyeballs that were wrapped in the foil. Mm-hmm. I was so excited. I would trade any candy for those.
I don't know, the satisfaction of opening them and then popping them up.
Yeah. A crunch was always good.
Ooh, crunch is really good. Yeah. Love crunch.
Worst to me is like Smarties. Again, they taste fine. I would never choose them. I would never go for them. Yeah. probably Smarties and the Tootsie Rolls, like the blue random Tootsie Roll.
Oh, those are the colorful ones. Okay, I forgot. Yeah, they do have the colorful
Not like
ones.
those.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, comment scary stories or your favorite and also worst candy to get on Halloween. It'll be a cool, just compiled list of things that we can compare and contrast there.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up for episode 14. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the next episode of Couples Coverage. Adios.
Bye. Woo.